Hey Christian, it's Kane again, and today it's a bittersweet Tuesday. Because for the last 24 weeks, every Tuesday, I've thrown out a little vlog like this. It's designed to encourage you and uplift you so that you can share the gospel with the people you love and meet in this short walk that we call life. But this 25th installment may very well be the last one for a while. That's the bad news. That's the bittersweet. But stay tuned for some good news later on toward the tail end of the video. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about the namesake for the whole series, discipleship. That'll be our word of the day today, discipleship. I used to call these E-tips, short for evangelism tips, but I retired that name in favor of discipleship tips. And I'll tell you why. Because the idea of being a disciple of Jesus is completely interwoven with reaching out to others with his message. You can't separate the two. Disciples make disciples. It's why we're still talking about Jesus Christ right now. So as we draw nearer to Jesus, sharing him becomes a natural byproduct of our relationship. He gave everything to help the lost. And he is our king. He's our best friend. So as we walk in his pattern, his love just overflows in our lives. Listen to Jesus in John 8:31-32. He says, "If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." So this Tuesday, I want to shed some light on the idea of being a disciple of Jesus. The true marks of being a disciple are being committed, being trained and ready, and overflowing in God's truth and love. And having all these things is all that it takes for you, Christian, to start sharing Jesus. So do you have these marks? Real easy to check off this checklist of marks. First, I want to ask this. Are you committed to Jesus as being your king? You know your own heart. Is he your priority number one? And when you look at your life, where's Jesus? Is he just on Wednesday and Sunday? Is that the only place he is? I hope not. Hope you've let him in every single day you have, in every corner of your life you've invited him into, and he's helping you in every area. Is your walk with Christ bigger than the religious tradition? Do you remember the moment of the promise that you made to Jesus when you were buried and when you rose again with him? How valuable is that to you? If so, I've got another question for you. Are you ready to share that with other people? Do you know the answer to why you can have the hope of heaven? Have you internalized the message that God has given you that has made your entire life? Do you know the basics of the Bible as far as getting someone just started down the narrow way? It's a lot simpler than we make it sometimes. It can happen anywhere. It can happen over the course of one conversation, and it's more often than not that we are over-prepared for those conversations. Finally, are you overflowing with love? We know that God is love, and if you have God, then his promise to you is full access to the love that he has given you. And this overflow of love is the motivating factor in sharing the faith with others. It's the same love God has for us, that he gives to us, and that compels us and motivates us to be who he needs us to be, disciples of Jesus. Our Savior was motivated totally by love, and that's why he stepped out of the comfort of heaven to come to us, to come to you, directly on the battlefield. And he laid everything on the line for you, Christian. Remember who you are without Christ. Remember how much he valued your soul enough to stand up to Satan and to fight for you, even to his last breath. Because of commitment, readiness, and love. And this combination of commitment, readiness, and love is a pattern that we can access and follow. This is the discipleship equation. It's an equation that always leads to the advancing of the borders of the kingdom. So as far as sharing the gospel, we don't have to worry about overcomplicating anything more than that. Are you committed? Does the gospel live in you? And have you taken hold of God's boundless love? Then you can grab a hold of your identity and you can stand tall. You can stand with confidence knowing that you have a part to play in saving the lost. That you can do it, and that Jesus will give you the strength to do it, and that is very good news. So here's some more good news. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to encourage you And I'm going to challenge you starting next Tuesday in a brand new series of studies as we take a look at this pattern of commitment, readiness, and love, and learn the ins and outs of the discipleship equation. And as we look at what makes a committed disciple of Jesus, we'll be encouraged by the example of saints that have gone on before. We'll be encouraged by just seeing and admiring Jesus and who he is, and taking hold of the promises that God has given to those who move inside his will. And I guarantee at the end of those studies, you'll walk away stronger with a brand new perspective of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. So I hope you'll join me then, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next Tuesday.